The broadcast of The Evil of the Daleks Part 7 on July the 1st brought to a close Doctor Who's 4th season on television. The production block, however, would continue with The Tomb of the Cybermen, which would be held over to start season 5. Only episode 2 of the story exists in the archives, having been famously returned alongside episode 3 of The Faceless Ones by Gordon Hendry after he bought them from a car boot sale. There also exists a clip of the toy Daleks used in the serial, which begins with the toy being held, then released, the end part of which may possibly have featured in episode 7. In addition, there is footage of the Emperor Dalek and the model filming as taken by Tony Cornell, which, whilst not actual footage from the story, illustrates what would have been seen on screen. The story was one of Troughton's favourites, and in the 80s he would even bandy about the idea of it being made into a feature film. Terry Nation's plans for an American Dalek series were never realised, so The Evil of the Daleks was the last appearance of the Daleks for over 4 years, until they finally returned to face John Pertwee's Doctor in the 1972 story, The Day of the Daleks.
Okay, Sonny, tell us about where you were born and where you grew up.
I was born in Trinidad, and that's a small island in the West Indies. And I spent the majority of my life in England. And everything I have accumulated, everything I have done, what progress I've made in life, I've made it in England. So I owe England a hell of a lot. And it made life, well, in other words, it made me grow up very quickly. And it was very interesting to be here in a sense that I made some very great friends, people who I never thought I would meet, and became quite friendly with them.
How old were you when you came over to England?
I was only 20, yeah, and now I'm a little old fella.
Was that as an actor you came over?
Believe it or not, my life story is very, very interesting. When I came here, I couldn't get a job. And a friend of mine got me a job working on British Railway. And I could always remember this. They had a foreman there. His name was Bill Crusty. And one day he came to me, and he was a Scottish lad. He came over to me, he said, laddie, come with me. So I walked over to him, and he said to me, he says, I have got a very nice little job for you to do. He said, go over to the bunker over there, and you'll find some coal on the floor. Shovel up the coal into the barrel. When you finish, make yourself scarce for the balance of the day. So I thought to myself, surely this woman must have liked me, you know? Fantastic. I could live with that. So I go over there with my shovel and my little wheelbarrow to shovel up the coal. When I went over there, I never thought London had so much coal in my life. It took me 2 weeks to move the damn thing, and he told me to get rid of it. And I said, I could not believe it. I was shoveling forever. And then after that, I thought to myself, no, there must be a better way of living. No, I'm not going to have none of this. So I started then training to do wrestling. And I became a professional wrestler. And I traveled quite a lot. I went to India, I went to the West Indies, I went to Mauritius, the Seychelles. You know, I traveled all over the world wrestling, which was very nice because you get a free flight wherever you're going. You eat the best food. You meet the nicest ladies you can find, all for free. I said, well, that's for me. I'm going to love this job. So I went along and I did this for a while. Then I thought to myself, surely again, there must be something better than this, you know? So I started doing stunt work, and I became a stuntman. So I'm falling all over the place, and I'm falling here, and I'm falling there, and I'm thinking, shit, there gotta be something better than this. Good grief, I'm falling everywhere. This is not too good for me at all, you know? So I thought to myself, yeah, right. So I started getting parts in movies, you know? And the first part I could always remember was in a movie with Bob Hope. It called me Buana. Very old movie. And I got the part in that. And from that, I started meeting the right people. And straight from that, I went into acting. And I did some very good jobs. I met some very influential people who helped me a lot. If it wasn't for them, I would never get anywhere, you know, which was quite interesting, really, you know. And from there, started doing bits and pieces everywhere. And then I thought to myself, I must add something else to what I'm doing. Then I became, a bodyguard. And I started bodyguarding pop groups and singers. And can I name the names? Well, I did Terence Trent D'Arby, Sade, Michael Jackson, and Janet Jackson. I did Janet Jackson as well. I did quite a lot of work with with singers. Then after that, I thought to myself, that's enough traveling. The wife started complaining I'm away too long, you know. So I said to myself, well, I think more of the wife than the traveling. So I decided to concentrate more on the acting and came back into the acting business again, which was quite good, you know. And I haven't looked back since.
You've made some quite significant movies. Have you got any particular favourites that we've worked on?
One of them I did was The Goose in the Noonday Sun. 2, and that was with Peter Sellers. And I was supposed to do a stunt on this. And they asked me, can you swim? And I said, yes, but I couldn't swim. And there was a guy, I forgot his name now, he had a part to play. And he said to them that he could swim as well. And when we got to Cyprus, he couldn't swim. So they brought me over and they blacked me up and all this sort of thing. And I'm wondering, because I had a part in the movie as well, so I'd done that part. Then they said to me, oh, you have to stand in for this guy. So I'm thinking, stand in for this guy. What am I supposed to do? They said, well, you have to walk the plank and fall in the sea. I'm thinking, but this guy came over here to do this. They say, but he can't swim. And I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, I can't swim either. So, in other words, I'm in right doo-doos now, you know. So, I walked out on this plank and I'm standing on this plank. But and I looked out at the sea and I can't see land. All I'm seeing is sea. And I'm thinking to myself, I jump in this down here, that's all I'm going to see. You see? And I stood there and I sweated. I've never sweated so much in my life. The sweat was just pouring off of me. And decided to shoot. Action. So this fella came out on his how to call it, plank. He did his whatever, walked off. I had now to come and take his place. So I come off to take the place. But the stunt man at that time was a guy they called Jerry Crampton. So Jerry Crampton jumped off into the sea. But the current was so strong, as he hit the water, he went about half a mile down the road. And I'm thinking, Jerry's a good swimmer. I can't swim. He ended up half a mile on the road down the way. Where am I going to end up if I jump in there? So I started to panic. Unfortunately for me, they decided the weather was bad. The light went. Oh, we'll do the shot tomorrow. I said, thank God for that. I got back to the hotel, booked my ticket. I was back in England. I was gone. So, but fortunately for me, I knew the producer very well. And Peter Sellers decided to take over the directing of the movie. And he called for a strike and all this sort of thing down there. So they were losing money. So when I came back, the producer rang me. And he said to me, what the hell is going on down in Cyprus? And he's telling me what is happening. So I said to them, I've heard the director's name now. Oh dear, I've heard his name now. And I told him, well, I said, when I left there, Peter Sellers was doing the directing. He said, Peter Sellers is not the director, he's the actor. I said, well, that's what happened. So I got away with it. And you know that movie, Ghost in the Noonday Sun, was never released. And what they did was they cut it up and they tried to make it into a television program. And it didn't turn out all that good. It didn't turn out all that good because I was back home on holidays and I went to a video shop and there it was. So I hired it and I looked at it and it was no good. It was terrible. And that was one I did. And there was another one I did that was extremely funny. Really, really funny. I have to jog my memory on that one. Because it was on, oh yes, it was on Doctor Who itself. I was in this same mansion. And I was supposed to be hit by Jamie, fall over a balustrade onto a table. And the table was supposed to crash underneath me and I'll fall on the ground. Okay. So they saw the legs of the table halfway through, this side and that side. So when I fall on it, it will crumple. So I got up there, hit me, went over the balustrade, fall on the table. So you know, when you're expecting something to happen, you go, the table is still standing there. And I fell off the table onto the floor and I'm going, okay, who did not saw the table leg? They said, but we saw it. I said, you did? I said, okay then. Went up again, the same thing happened. So they decided to saw it a little bit more. And I went up there, go to fall over the top again. Just as I fall over the top, before I hit the table collapsed. It was so funny. Oh, there. Then, another time we did Sherlock Holmes, and I was supposed to be a killer in it, a Spanish killer, and I was sent to murder this guy, and I murdered him, and I'm running away.